So these are perfect for using on little figurines for, say, saliva drips or even blood drips. Hello, this is VJ from Hearns Hobbies, and I have a small tutorial on how to use the UV resin, which probably going to be easier to show you down here. So I've got the UV resin from Green Stuff World, and I'm going to be making these little drips. You can see there. So you can see by the size of my finger how small these drips are. So these are perfect for using on little figurines for, say, saliva drips or even blood drips. So what we'll do is we're going to use some of this invisible filament, which comes on a roll like this. You'll probably use some fishing line as well, but the invisible filament which you get from haberdashery stores is perfectly clear, so it looks a little bit better in this case. And it's quite flexible, as you can see. And we'll attach that with some good super glue. There's some Zappa Cap right there. And then we're going to use the UV resin, which is this again, to make the little round droplet on the end. And I'll just show you how easy it is. So I did a quick tutorial on this on one of our live shows, but I think it was a bit difficult to see exactly what I was doing. So this is the result that we want, and I'll show you how we do it. Okay, so filament, you need to start off with a bit of this. So we're just going to take off a little section of it. All right, so I'm just going to unravel this a little bit. Cut a section off. I'll do a couple of them so it's a bit easier to see. Okay, so I'm just going to use this to put some super glue on. I'll just pop this open. Don't need a lot of super glue, so just one little drop over here will be all we need. Okay, now the filaments are really small, as you can see. There's one there and one here. Just need to be able to pick those up gently. Actually, tweezers will probably be handy, so I'll be back in just a sec. Alright, so we got our tweezers here. Pick up a filament. Okay, so I've got the filament there, as you can see. Just glistening a bit in that light. So drip, we'll get the tip and just drop it in the glue and just glue it on wherever you want the drip to appear. Now usually I'll have this hanging down, so this will naturally dry straight, but as you can see, that one's already there and glued on horizontally. Let's just do another one. Okay, so I've got that one there. Again, dip the end in the glue, pop it on. I just support it with my finger for the moment because it's horizontal until it takes. Alright, so it's glued on. Okay, so we've got our first 3 filaments here with little blobs of, let's see if I get the focus right. Yep. And now we're going to do the little blobs on the end with UV resin. Alright, so let's just move my glue out of the way so I've got a bit more space. So I'm just going to open this up. Yep. Just got to get this nozzle out. It's a little bit stuck. Yep. Okay, so here we go. Got the cap off it now. So there's a nozzle there. Okay, so it's a very fine nozzle. It's pretty easy to control. The resin itself is reasonably thick, so it's easier to squeeze out. So what we're going to do, usually I have this upright again, but I'll leave it at this angle so it's easier to see. Now I'm just going to squeeze out one little drop. You can see the drop just on the end there, and we'll just touch it on the end of the filament. And it's going to create a ball by itself. And I'll do the other one. Okay, so you can see they're already reflecting some light. And to set those, I've just got my UV torch here. So there's a Green Stuff World UV torch. And we just apply the UV light. And because it's perfectly clear, it's going to cure all the way through to the other side as well. So just a little bit of a spray of the light like that. And that's done. So that's practically it, that's finished. Now, if you want to make them bigger, all you need is just repeat the process. So we'll do that again. And basically, it's just going to make the end ball just bigger each time you apply. And hopefully it'll be easier for you to see as well. All right, so they look pretty nice. A bit more of the UV torch. And that's it, as simple as that. So if we want it bigger still, you can just keep adding UV resin onto there as much as you like, and you can just make it bigger. So you see at the moment the size of them. So these are a bit chunkier than the ones I did earlier. Now you can use other stuff as well. You could use this kind of glue and glaze. Also there's crystal clear available from Microscale. Difference being is this stuff is a very clear wood glue, so it goes on white, and then as it dries it turns perfectly clear. Now I'm just going to move this light because this light started to lose some power, I think, and started flashing. So let's just pop that over there. Yeah, so you can use this. The only difference is going to be this stuff takes a lot longer to dry, so you're going to have to leave it there for about an hour before it starts getting clear like this. So that's another advantage of this UV resin, because basically you see how quickly I applied it and then how quickly I cured it with the little UV torch. Okay, so next step, I'm going to show you how we'll make this look like blood drips, and that's quite simple by getting some clear red. So this is the Tamiya acrylic clear red, but you can use any clear color. So you use enamels, lacquers, doesn't really matter. They're all going to work on this. All right, so I've got my light back over here. Okay, excellent. So, all right. So you can make any sort of color you like. If you want it sort of a bit milky, I find adding a touch of flesh to a clear red and just marbling it through gives a really gross sort of chunky blood look. Or you can even use the Green Stuff World blood finishes as well, and that'll be easiest for the blood because they've got coagulated blood, which is slightly different color, and then also regular blood. So let's open it up. Okay, so I've got my brush here. What I'm going to do is get a bit of paint and apply it onto the drip. So there's going to be more here. Okay. Let's do this one as well. So you can see, I mean, transparent color will change tone with the more coats you put on. So if you want a super, super red, you just put on extra coats. But there you go. Okay, so that's all you have to do. So basically you just need the filament, which is glued onto where you want it to come from, and then a little dab of either the UV resin or crystal clear or glue and glaze on the end. Let it dry off, but in the case of this resin, it just sets almost immediately with the UV torch. And then to make the blood effect, just clear red. Now let me see if I can find some white or a lighter color. You'll probably be able to see the color better, maybe? Maybe not. But I think you get the idea here. So it looks very, very natural. And the great thing is, because generally when you have filaments like this hanging off a model, they can be quite fragile, particularly if you're doing the old stretch sprue method. But with these, you can just see how flexible they are. Just moving across these. There's nothing happening to them at all. So there you go. That's my little tutorial on how to make bled drips with the Green Stuff World UV resin, some clear paint, and some super glue, and a few little tools. So thank you for watching.